Okay. So, Cookie and I are going to try and do this every week. The Cookie Green from Stuttering to Confidence, which is, it's not the largest Facebook site out there, but it is by far the most active site out there. Most active I've ever seen. It's wild. She just does a great job. I'm Larry Stein from Stein on Stuttering. 12 years ago, I wouldn't be able to say that. Well, I could have said it, but it would take a long time. We'd be out of time. Anyways, so what we're doing, continuing our format of one question a week. Cookie's going to ask me the question, and I'll do my best to give you my views. Cookie, how you doing today?
Great. I am so happy to be able to do this, But you know what? I've got a good question for you today.
All right.
And I know that you have stuttered. You say that you've stuttered for about 50 years. I want to know, where did you gain your confidence, or your confidence in your speech? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. All right. So I come at this from a very different standpoint than a lot of people, because confidence was not something I was looking to do. It's just something that, as I went through the process, I got there. First of all, let me tell you from my experience, and I know this is going to be unpopular. A lot of people like to say affirmations and see these nice posters of, confidence, or, they say, you got it, you believe in yourself. And I tried all that. Nothing really had an impact. I find those things foster confidence, and they're nice to remind yourself of those nice things. But when the chips are down and you're really under pressure, that's not going to get you through. Here's what I found got me through. The first thing I learned, and this is going to be unpopular, is that confidence is earned. If you think about anything that you've become confident in, you've earned it. You've earned it through successes, one success after another. And by doing that, you begin to believe that, oh, I can do this. And that's the first thing. Confidence is earned. And for me, as someone who stuttered for 50 years, my confidence in my speaking, and that's what we're talking about here, not confidence as a person, but confidence in speaking, that was a long road, because I had, 50 years of bad experiences. And so I found, to my surprise actually, that I had to earn it, just like I had to earn confidence in playing sports, confidence in anything else. How did I gain confidence? That's a longer story, but the simple parts, well, not the breaking it down to the small pieces, are, we've been doing those videos on the mechanics of speaking. First, I felt that I had to give up how I was speaking and completely relearn to speak. And that after I got that and made that automatic, and that took weeks, if not months, to retrain my brain in that this is how I'm speaking all the time, 100% of the time. And then if to turn back 50 years of speaking one way and then going to another, that was a really long project, very intense practice. I can't remember who the great, Chinese sage was, that if you want to really make things yours, you have to do it 10,000 times. And then Malcolm Gladwell came out with his book, and he interviewed experts, and they said 10,000 times.
Right.
I don't know how many thousands of times I did this, but I practiced this way of speaking. And then the real key was to take it out of my bedroom and into the real world. And there I had always fallen flat on my face again. I mean, failure is my middle name. And so I just had to, I realized that I was very fragile emotionally, very unconfident, maybe it's inconfident, and that I had to go at this one small step at a time. And I realize that's a cliche nowadays, but that's what I did. So I had my new way of speaking. I had worked through some psychological aspects of speaking and of behavior. And I began doing the opposite. And I'm going to have a series of videos on that beginning, I think next week, as a matter of fact. And then I went at these situations, one after the other, beginning with the easiest thing first, talking to my wife, and then talking with my kids, and then on and on and on, up to the highest point which this was like a 2-year project. And at the peak, the hardest thing for me, I thought that would make a difference. My biggest challenge, I mean, these were challenges that after I got up to like this level, these are challenges that paralyzed me, you know? And the one that really paralyzed me, well, here, let's just have some fun. We didn't discuss this. Do you know what the challenge was at the top of my hierarchy, at the very top? The biggest challenge, I thought? What do you think? To say
boss or something of that nature.
That was up there. To say my name, to introduce myself was just like, I thought if I could do that I'd be, you know, doing pretty well. I didn't realize how important that was to me. I also didn't realize how big a challenge that would be. I spent months
Uh-oh, are we stuck?
You know, of course they had a hammer, but before that, I would introduce myself. Hi, I'm Larry Stein. And, you know, they don't care what my name is, but I would say it just to say it. I'd call hotels, you have a hotel room. But before that, I would introduce myself. I'd introduce myself to little kids. They don't care what my name is. You know, really old people. I mean, any situation I could to do that. And with my philosophy of speaking in phrases and all that, and I had tried to sell myself that, oh, my name is just another phrase. It's just another 2-word phrase, big deal. It's just a widget. It was not. And so I had to do a whole confidence building just to say my name. It took, I don't know, several months. And then I thought I was finally ready for prime time, that I could introduce myself. And I chose, you know, I was in this group of people, and I just went around the room, and I thought I was ready because I practiced this for months. And I found this little old lady, you know, she was like up to my waist. And I said, this is perfect. I turned around, I was ready to introduce myself, and I just couldn't. I like turned around, I said, I can't do this. And I used to play sports, so I'm into imagery a lot. And so I said, all right, I'm going to picture her smiling at me, even if she's not. I'm going to picture warm rays of light. I would be basking in her warm rays of light. And I mean, I did these crazy images to get myself through this. And I turned around, I thought I was ready, and I put my hand out. I said, hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Larry Stein. First time in my life, I'm age 57, that I willingly introduced myself, and it came out clean. Now, I have to admit, I added those words I thought I was just going to say, I'm Larry Stein, and
Right.
I just, couldn't get to that. And so I would just walk around introducing myself to all these people, little old ladies at first, and then I would try, what I thought were the kindest faces of women. I always felt it was easier to talk with women than with men. I don't know why. And so I went around the room that way. Another week went by, and I'm just introduced myself, and I get in this large group again of people I don't know. And I'm introduced myself again now to women. And I'm, still saying, I don't think we've met. I'm Larry Stein. And I just couldn't get rid of that crutch. But I'm doing this for the first time in my life. I'm doing this. And then another week goes by, and I'm, doing this again. And I'm in a large group again. And I go up to some women, and then I said, I'm ready. I'm going to go up to some little old men. And so I went up to all these little old men. I walked around introducing myself. And then I said, all right, I think I'm finally ready. I'm going to introduce myself to a peer, someone around my age, someone in a suit who, looks professional. And I did it. And then I walked around doing that. And then toward the end of that day, I'm just, 7, 10 people, 12 people, I don't know how many. I just walked up to this guy, dressed in a $3,000 suit, and I put out my hand. I say, Larry Stein. And then I walk around, Larry Stein, and I did it. And it's like my world changed. I didn't have to hide anymore. My world changed. And I wasn't cured, but I was finally free. I didn't have to hide anymore from any situation, because I was always hiding. Oh no, what if they ask my name? What if? And so I was always hiding. And I felt I didn't have to hide from that point on. And I still had little things to improve in my speech, and I always will. And there are always ways that I'll get, caught up maybe in a stutter here and there. Most people don't know it, but I can tell. And but that was how I gained confidence, was working through one situation after I had my foundation of speaking, after I really learned to speak, after I worked through some of the psychological aspects. Then after I went through this process of one speaking situation after another, many of which used to paralyze me, and then working through those and finally getting through those just from doing it. That's how I finally gained confidence.
So just through good practice. But it sounds like the key was being able to say your name. Once you can introduce yourself and say your name, it seems like everything else kind of falls in place. But it does sound like that you did put a lot of work.
Endless work. It was
situations. Yes.
Yeah, I have never worked at something so hard in my life. And I was frankly not a hard worker before this.
Right.
The process changed me. Going through this process changed me, and I'm completely changed. I'm a completely different person than I was before this 2-year journey of working through my speech, because the process changed me into a very disciplined person, into a very, step by step, I can approach a challenge. And if I work really hard through it, I can get there. And so that's another segment of the confidence. Not only that I can speak in any situation, and now I'm a professional speaker. People pay me to speak.
Wow.
But also that when challenges come along and they continue to come through, that I can deal with it, and I deal with them all the same way.
Right.
What are the mechanics I have to work through? What are the psychological aspects? And then what's my approach? What are the situations I have to work through one
Right.
by one by one. It's a very, laborious process, but that's how I have found to build true confidence, the kind that lasts.
Oh, thank you for
Yes.
that answer. Yes, it was wonderful. I just can't wait to see what our next question. I want to pick your brain.
I'm looking forward to it. Tookie, you're terrific. Always
Yeah.
great to be with you. Let's do this next week.
Yes, let's do that. Can't wait.
Okay. All right. We'll see you then.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye-bye.